Good evening and welcome to the business meeting for the Board of Education of Greeley-Evans School District 6. This meeting will now come to order. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Lemon, will you please call the roll?
Director Azari. Director Bentley.
Present.
Director Campos-Spitzy. Present. Director Mash.
Present.
Director Matthews.
Present.
Director Norwood.
Present.
Director Sullivan.
Present.
6 board members present.
And Mr. Azari is excused this evening. Well, good evening. Tonight is the last meeting for the Board of Education for the 2024-25 school year. And so a hearty congratulations to the class of 2025. As always, we thoroughly enjoyed and we're honored to celebrate the graduations of our incredibly hardworking students. I think many of us shook upwards of 1,500 hands over the course of the weekend, and we were inspired by the accomplishments and future plans of our graduates, as well as by the vulnerable and hopeful speeches of the student speakers. Many of the student speakers shared their journey as English language learners and as children new to the country. They encouraged their fellow graduates to make a new start in kindness and generosity towards others, and that while hard work is essential to success, don't miss out on the joy and beautiful relationships along the way. Our future is bright because the students of District 6 are going places and they care deeply. Congratulations to all of our graduates and their families, friends, and educators who supported them along the way. Tonight, we want to take some time to honor an extremely bright light in our community, former teacher, coach, and board member John W. Hafley, who passed away on May 31st after a year-long battle with pancreatic cancer. John taught in District 6 for many decades. He was a tennis and baseball coach and a CHSAA basketball referee, I believe, for 40 years. He met his wife of 31 years, Delia, while they were teaching at Maplewood. John served as board director from 2013 to 2021. During this time, he helped to hire Dr. Pilch, mend the relationship between the district and the GEA, pass 2 mill levy overrides and a $395 million bond, and helped to update the strategic plan. The ripples of John's influence in the lives of so many students, families, and community members, both in Greeley-Evans and around the state, will be felt for years to come. At this time, I'd like to open it up for any board members who would like to honor John this evening. Dr. Campos-Spitzy.
So I had the honor of knowing John for the last 3 years. I met him when I began to think about running for school board. I had a friend tell me, "You need to talk to John Hafley." And I remember chasing him down in front of the admin building in my heels, which he always made fun of, and telling him I wanted to have coffee. After that meeting, we met many times. Things, I just was trying to think of 3 memories about him. I know he spoke about his mother being a legacy, and a lot of people in the community spoke about his mother. And I thought how cool that even sometimes it's really hard when your parent is a legacy to become a legacy yourself. But John really did. He is a legend and he is a legacy. He would speak about when he was in elementary school, it was during the Cesar Chavez, the grape boycott. And when he was going through the cafeteria line, he would ask the cafeteria lady, "Are these grapes from California? Because I'm not eating California grapes." And so I loved hearing him share that story. Loved cheering him on when he, I don't know if he got out of his comfort zone because John was very comfortable in the limelight, but at the Dancing with the Weld County Stars, he shone so brightly and raised over $30,000 for the Boys and Girls Club that night, just that night alone. I remember, oh my gosh, during my campaign, I don't know how many yard signs he gave out and how many times I went to his house to drop off more yard signs. And I remember a conversation with him and Delia in their kitchen. And to me, it was so meaningful because I know that John and the Hayfleys have always stood for equity in education, their opportunity fund and the scholarships that they fund. But that conversation is so memorable to me. They were sitting at a table, they were telling me at a scholarship event, and the awardee was being spoken about on stage. And they were sitting next to the awardee and their family, and they realized that the awardee's family couldn't understand anything that was being said about their own child. And so in that kitchen conversation, they were like, why don't they have translation devices at all of our events and all of, and their passion for equity in our district just shone brightly in that specific conversation. Anyway, yeah, I could go on and on. I know right now I have a friend who will be running for school board, and she came to Michael Matthews' honor event that we did not too long ago, and John looked at her and was like, where is your name tag? And I think he's mentored so many of us through election campaigns, and even just a month ago was still, doing that. And I love that he went out on his own terms and doing everything he loved and traveling and being with his wife and going to the hospital with his dog, Emma. And I admire him even for this last year and how he chose to live it. And so we will miss you, John. We hope you're listening to another boring board meeting up there. But I will cherish his memory forever.
Thank you for sharing. Mr. Norwood?
I met John in the early 90s, and I'm trying to remember where he was teaching. It was either Chapello or Maplewood, but he always had an infectious smile, as he does on the pictures that we're seeing right now. And no matter whether you were competing against him or with him, he would always support you. What can I do to help you? And when I decided to run for school board, and I've known John forever, he extended himself more than any human being possibly should or could, and always said, I'm a text away, I'm a call away. If you have any questions, let's go somewhere, let's grab a glass of water, let's sit down, let's visit. But the thing that I remember about him as well too is that whenever he refereed high school basketball, was that if kids had questions, he took the time to explain it to them. He didn't just walk away and say, I'm an official, I can't talk to you. He treated the kids like they were important. And I watched him referee a lot as I had kids that came up through the district and played sports. So, but that's the things that I will remember about John as well too. Never met a stranger, ever met a stranger. And most of the people that he interacted with throughout his life, he never forgot their name. And that always impressed me. So the community lost a very valued member, and we'll all miss him.
Thank you, Mr. Norwood. Pushing your button. Mr. Matthews? Okay.
I couldn't find the button.
That's right.
Yeah, I think a lot of people here will certainly miss John. Knew him well. He was such a huge part of this district at every level, and cared about every level, and cared about every school, and seemingly every kid in every school. And he served on this board for 8 years. He served on the Ames board. He served on the United Way board. He was a very public figure, and I can't list all the boards that he was on. But I think what is so impressive, as good a board member as he was, as good a teacher, and if you want to see the comments on his Facebook page from students across the decades, just go look to see the impact that he had on students. But as good a board member, as good a teacher, as good a public servant as John was, he was even better than that, just a better person. And as was said, he never met a stranger because he made a point to meet everybody. I remember when we ran together in 2017. He was running for his second term on the board. I was running for my first, and it was my launch party, and I thought he had been there. There were a lot of people, and I didn't get to see everybody, and I saw him the next week, and I said, "Oh, John, I'm sorry I didn't get to go and talk to you. Were you there?" And he said, "Michael, if I'd have been there, you would have known it." And that was just John. John, his energy filled the room, any room, and he always made sure to meet everyone in the room. And every time we would go somewhere together, there would be at least 4 or 5 people that stopped to say hello to him. But it didn't matter who the people were. For John, the people who, if the mayor was stopping to say hello to him, he was no more important than the waitress. And he always asked about her day and what he could do to make her day better. And that was just the way he lived his life. And he will be sorely missed in the school district, in the city he leaves. We've had a lot of great friends pass away, our school district, in the last few years. But John leaves such a hole because he filled every room that he walked into, and we will greatly miss him. And our condolences to darling Delia.
Dr. Pilch, did you want to say something? No. Okay, sounds good. Well, a story I just, for starters, I feel like so blessed to have been able to know John for the past 6.5 years, and I feel a little bit like I'm new to the John and Delia Hayfley fan club. Many people have been blessed to know them for many decades, but I was able to go with John and his dog Emma to UC Health, I believe just 2 weeks before he passed away. And even though I knew he was low on energy, that he was in pain, he just continued to show that strength. We went up to the ICU. I didn't know that dogs could go in the ICU. It was pretty fantastic. All the nurses got down on the floor with Emma in their nursing station, and yeah, John knew everyone's name. He knew to ask, "How was your vacation? How are you recovering from that surgery? Congratulations to your graduate." Not just a champion for Greeley, but absolutely a champion for all, and just such a connector. And I think I'm stealing this from Mr. Matthews. He just said at another opportunity to talk about John that he made everyone feel like the most important person in the room. And he was truly remarkable. My life has been greatly enriched by my friendship with him. And he absolutely strove to live by the 3 virtues that he ultimately got tattooed on his arm just this last year: grace, strength, and dignity. That was just how he lived his life. One of the graduation speeches this year was called "Don't Be That Person." Don't be someone who tears others down, holds a grudge, or is petty and mean. And the flip side of that would be that person. Be a person like John Hayfley, who lifts others up, always encourages, and in his words, uses your gift to make the world a better place. My friendship with John changed me personally for the better, but his work as a board director also shaped my understanding of the work in District 6 and the ultimate focus that I want to hold on to. The 2 things that John brought up in every conversation and every decision that we made was first, to ensure that every decision would build relationships and connections in the community, that we were always working to build trust and collaboration with families and other stakeholders. And the second was commitment to our value that all means all. We know that every child can achieve, and our beautiful diversity is a strength. And he worked to ensure that every opportunity was available to every student in our district, that every student felt welcome, seen, and safe. So as this is our last meeting of the year and we won't be seeing all of our students, families, and staff for a couple of months, I wanted to send you all off into the summer with a reminder that in District 6, each of you matters. Your work in District 6 matters. Your work as a student or an adult in our community matters. Greeley and Evans are rich in culture, heritage, experience, and perspective. And we continue our commitment to ensuring that our schools are welcoming and safe, and to our firmly held belief that all means all. Have a wonderful summer. And now we'll move on with the rest of our meeting. Let's see. Now I'll give it over to Dr. Pilch for her superintendent's honor roll.
Thank you, President Mash. I'm happy to introduce Assistant Superintendent Anthony Osmus to come forward, and he will have some other introductions for the other folks we intend to recognize tonight. Thank you.
Members of the board, it's an honor to recognize our all-state athletes and our groups. But first, before we do that, I just want to take a second and just thank Chris Klein, who is attending his last board meeting for us. He's retiring and making way for Sean Skribic, who will replace him. So I just want to give him a little bit of gratitude, and I have this plaque for him. The plaque reads, Chris Klein, thank you for your years of service with deep appreciation for your dedication, leadership, and commitment to excellence. Thank you for inspiring greatness on and off the field. Chris Klein was a great leader for us and just kept things going for all of our students. And we just want to thank him for his service. So, Coach, appreciate you.
Thank you, Anthony, Dr. Pilch, board. I appreciate it very much. As Mr. Asmus said, I'm retiring for my second time. I did retire once from the district already, but I keep getting these phone calls. When people call, Dr. Pilch or Bob Billings would call, and I came back to work as a stadium manager in a need when they had a need. Now I've come back to do the district AD for a couple years as a need, and I'm looking forward to what Sean Skribic's going to bring to the district as in a full-time position in my role, which is duly needed. So I appreciate the time, and it's been my honor to serve District 6, and I will always be available if there's a need again. So, because it's a wonderful place to work and a wonderful community that my wife and I have really enjoyed being part of. So, thank you. At this time, thank you. At this time, we would like to recognize the students for the spring who have achieved all-state or state place or have had a chance to qualify for state tournaments, and we honor them. We've done our fall and our winter, and we honor the spring athletes. It's always tough because coming in June, school's out, the students disappear, and trying to get them here on a Monday night has been difficult, but we do have some here for you tonight, but not all of them. We wish all of them could be here, but they all had commitments. But we'd like to honor them and have them recognized before the board tonight. So our first honorees will be from Northridge High School, and for them, I'd like to recognize Jeff Collins, who will introduce the Northridge students.
Thank you once again for having us here. I wanted to second or echo, we made a lot of effort to try and get our kids here today. It just, they like leave at graduation, we can't get them back. Although they aren't here, I do want to mention we had a great girls golf team season, placing second at regionals, fourth at the state tournament that we were lucky to host here in Greeley at Boomerang, which is a pretty cool honor. Also, I'd like to acknowledge our track athletes who competed at the state track meet. We were represented by 11 student athletes, 3 relays, and 1 competed in an individual event. And then the folks that did show up today, our FCCLA participated in a state competition with their Food Innovations Project. They earned first place in that event and are traveling to Florida for nationals here pretty soon. So congratulations, guys. I told them that maybe the board would have questions.
Yeah, I would love to hear about your project if you would like to give us a little snippet.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Maybe you could tell us what
Okay.
FCCLA stands for and what maybe the purpose of the club is, and then a little about your project.
Okay, FCCLA stands for Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. Okay, so we competed in food innovations. As you know, we got first place. And we also got a perfect score on our rubric, which was pretty cool. Basically, what we had to do is we were given a prompt, and the prompt was to create a healthy drink alternative for students of all ages. And we created a decaffeinated mango and pineapple green tea with orange boba in it, and it was pretty good.
That's amazing. Thank you. So that can replace like the Celsius and the Monster and all the things that our students are currently consuming, right? Yeah,
Yes,
that's
exactly.
awesome. Maybe we can test that at some point. So you do a similar, do you bring your current creation to Florida, or will you compete with a new prompt?
We bring what we competed at state with there.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing and congratulations. Did you have anything else to say? Nope. All right, well done.
At this time, we'd like to recognize J.J. Barron, the athletic director at West, to introduce his students.
All right. Thank you again for this opportunity to showcase our students and our athletes at Greeley-West and stuff. And I also want to say thank you to Chris Klein. As a new AD coming in 2 years ago, you really don't know what you sign up for and stuff. And so he has been very patient with me, helped kind of guide me throughout everything and stuff like that. So I want to say thank you. I got 4 groups I'd like to highlight tonight. Our first group would be the tennis group. Coach Pace qualified 2 athletes in our doubles. That was Hayden Ashley and Sophie Harold. Next was our swim. They qualified 8 athletes. Shahal Kern, Alexander Calhoun, Sam Sasaki, Christopher Greenberg, Ian Spooner, Timothy Kenigsberg, and Hayden Blay. They had a great season this year. They broke numerous team records this year. One of the records had been in place for over 30 years, and that was our 50 free that was broken by Timothy Kenigsberg. So, our last athlete to kind of showcase is Valeria Caseda. She qualified for the state tournament in discus and shot put. Through her personal best, the last day, she made the finals in shot put and placed 4th and made the second team All-State. So, and the last one I'd like to highlight is Yvette Gallegos. She placed 2nd in fashion sketch for FCCLA. So, thank you, guys.
I think it's still you, right? Or is that?
It's a special item. It is still me, but it's a special item, and I don't know if you want to start or you want me to.
I don't know if I have.
Oh.
I think we're on next to the approval of the agenda.
On what? I'm sorry.
Approval of the agenda.
Okay.
I move that the Board of Education of Greeley-Evans School District 6 approves the agenda as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on the approval of the agenda? Seeing none, will you please give us a vote, please?
Director Bentley?
Aye.
Director Campos-Fitzy?
Aye.
Director Mash?
Aye.
Director Matthews?
Aye.
Director Norwood?
Aye.
Director Sullivan?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Okay, the next item on our agenda, because we will be passing our district budget, pursuant to Colorado Revised Statute 2244-110, any taxpayer residing in the school district is entitled to register his or her comments on the proposed budget with the Board of Education, either in writing or in person at a public hearing. The proposed budget for the 2025-2026 fiscal year has been posted on the district's website for review. I do not believe that we have anyone signed up to speak with us this evening. Okay. All right, moving on to our special item, and I'll give this back to Dr. Pilch.
Thank you, President Mash. If I may, I'd like to go to the podium for this item. President Mash and members of the Board of Education, I would like to invite to the podium with me Mr. Stephen Paulson, who is a semifinalist for the Colorado State Teacher of the Year. It is truly my honor to get to recognize Stephen tonight as a semifinalist for Teacher of the Year. I want to tell you just a little bit about this. There were 419 applications from 106 school districts in Colorado, and 22 semifinalists were selected. And so there's now another round of application that Stephen must go through. I'll let him talk to you about the process a little bit, but finalists will be announced in September, and then the actual winner will be announced, I understand, in October. This is a significant honor for Stephen, for Greeley Central High School, where he is a teacher, and for District 6. For 14 years, Stephen has been an educator. He's a social studies teacher, but most importantly, he teaches students. And he teaches students to be college and career ready. He is an avid teacher at Greeley Central. He's an advanced placement teacher at Greeley Central High School. He pushes students to do more than they thought they could do before they met him. He is a first-generation graduate himself, and as such, he's a significant advocate for first-gen students. He sets his expectations high, and he provides high support. You all know that we have over 3,000 total people in our system, and about 1,500 of those are teachers. And I am proud to say that Mr. Paulson is one of the finest in District 6. And it's been my honor and privilege to get to know him and watch him lead as an educator here in the district and in District 6. And I believe he probably has on shorts tonight in honor of Mr. Hafley, who I would be shocked if Mr. Hafley was not one of Mr. Paulson's mentors here in District 6. But I think a lot of you know Stephen. You know he's high relationship, and that he not only expects to form a relationship with his students first, but then he's going to push them and help them to build resiliency and grit so they are successful and that they're ready for their future. He really does exemplify our mission here in District 6 and our vision to make sure that all students are college and career ready. It's truly my honor to recognize you, Stephen, and I'd like to give you the microphone if you'd like to take it for a moment, and I would guess the board may have some comments to make as well.
Thank you, Dr. Bush. Slight height difference, I guess. I am wearing shorts for Mr. John Hafley. I found my best cargo shorts. So I worked with his wife, and then he was a great mentor to me, and he means a lot to me. So I'm glad we got to acknowledge him. This doesn't make me very comfortable, so I really don't want to stand up here very long, but I just want people to know how much I love District 6 and how much I love our students and the opportunity to work in the district. I've been in a few different places, but I love this district, and I'm going to stay in this district till I get kicked out of it. But I really didn't want to do the application, to be honest with you, especially as I'm writing my 7th 750-word essay. But when I did some research, no one in District 6 has ever won, and this award started in 1963. So I hope something positive comes of it for District 6 and more importantly for Greeley Central. So thank you for having me here tonight. I appreciate it, and thank you, Dr. Pilch. Congratulations. Thank you.
All right, we're,
So I met Mr. Paulson not too long ago. He was advocating for his Avid sophomores. He was trying to connect them all with a career experience that aligned with their interests. And when he was coming across some difficulties finding healthcare professionals who would be mentors for these kids, he went on Facebook and posted a request for career mentors. And to me, like, just that in and of itself, posting on Facebook for his students, he is not a teacher who clocks in and clocks out. You know, he's taking this passion outside of the classroom and reaching out to his community network, which I think wrapped around his project and we got his students connected. But just high praise to Mr. Paulson. Director Matthews and I were commenting on, he's only been at Greeley Central for 2 years and is already leaving a mark. So I think that speaks, you know, in and of itself. I loved your post on Facebook that you recognized every other school in District 6 that you've worked in, and that the one thing that all these schools have in common are amazing students, and that's why you're here. And so thank you, Mr. Paulson, for everything you do.
Thank you.
thank you, Dr. Campos. Mr. Matthews?
I had a quick question, Mr. Paulson. What percentage of the students you teach are freshmen or sophomores?
Too many of them. Most of them.
Most of them.
Yeah, I'd probably
yeah.
say 80%, 90% are ninth graders.
That's what I would have guessed, because Mr. Paulson teaches AP Human Geography. It's one of our first AP classes that students get to take. And he's done that at Greeley West and now at Greeley Central. You've taught two of my children and have a third coming up this year. But that class is really one where we try to find students who are smart and don't know they're smart, who can do AP and might go on to college but don't yet know it. And I suspect Mr. Paulson is responsible for sending a lot of our students to college who otherwise would not have gone to college, not only through Avid, certainly through Avid, but also through AP Human Geography and just teaching, doing the hard job of teaching freshmen. And so this is well-deserved, and thank you for all you do for us.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
But now that you've honed your essay writing skills, maybe you can help the seniors with their college essays as well.
Yes, unfortunately.
Well, thank you very much
you.
for being here. And congratulations, and best wishes in the next steps.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Pilch.
Our next item of business is to adopt a budget for the next school year, 2025-2026, and this will require a motion.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approves the proposed budget for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. This includes a total appropriation of $465,041,286, the transfer of funds from the general fund, and the use of the beginning fund balance where required, as presented in the proposed budget document.
Second.
Thank you both. And I see Ms. Sponsler coming to the podium.
Good evening again. Thank you for having me. We had a lot of time at the work session to talk about the budget, and then I have had the opportunity to meet with most of you individually to answer any questions. So I didn't really want to go through the same information again, but I did want to just let the audience know that the budget and a lot of financial information is available on the District 6 website. If you scroll down to the bottom, there's the financial transparency link. And you can click on that link and you can discover a whole world of District 6 finance information. So if you ever need something to help you go to sleep, it's out there. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have about the budget if you have anything that you're still just really curious about.
I would just reiterate to the public, to District 6 staff, if you have never taken a look at the budget document that Ms. Sponsor creates each year, it has demographic information on each and every school. It has a line item for every single position in the district. So if you are a teacher at this school, you can find yourself in the budget. It shows the funding formula that we've been working with for the past who knows how long, and then it explains the new funding formula that will be phased in. There's lots of great graphics and the information presented in multiple different ways in order to make it clear. So yes, please do check that out if you have any questions. And I would just like to mention yet again that District 6 has received a clean audit every year for all of the years that I've been on the board. There's also a financial health survey that the state does, and we always receive a healthy report there as well. So thank you so much to Megan and to her team, and yeah, take a look. You'll learn something. It's not all, boring. It's really interesting. It's fascinating to see where everything lives. And as I've always been impressed with Ms. Sponsler, she understands that those dollars are people, that they're programs, exactly how they affect our students. So thank you very much. Not seeing any other questions, will you please give us a vote?
Director Bentley?
Aye.
Director Campos-Spitzy?
Aye.
Director Mash?
Aye.
Director Matthews?
Aye.
Director Norwood?
Aye.
Director Sullivan?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
The next item on our agenda is the superintendent's report.
Thank you, President Mash. I'm honored to first introduce some of our latest hires, and we're getting close to being fully staffed with our administrative team. I'm first going to introduce a couple of folks who weren't able to be with us tonight. Brian Devereaux, who will be the new Assistant Principal Athletic Director at Greeley Central High School. Brian has been in District 6 for some time now. He was a teacher at Jefferson High School, and then he became the Dean of Students at Jefferson here 2 years ago, and is happy to move over to Greeley Central High School. And then Victoria Baker is our new assistant principal at Madison STEAM Academy. Victoria comes to us from having been a first grade teacher and a lead teacher at Centennial Elementary. So we have hired her from within, and she couldn't be here tonight either, as she is having a new baby. So welcome to both Brian and Victoria. And then I'm happy to introduce with us tonight is Mr. Austin Colm, who is the new assistant principal at Toynton Academy of Pre-Engineering. And I will tell you, Austin already hit the ground running. He was at our district leadership team meeting last week. So they're moving quickly, getting him involved in the district. But he comes to us from the Thompson Valley School District, where he was a math teacher. He does have some previous history in District 6, taught math at Jefferson High School almost a decade ago. So welcome back to District 6, Austin. We're really glad to have you at Toynton Academy of Pre-Engineering. Yes. And then finally, I want to introduce to you our new Director of Special Education, Tabitha Miller. Tabitha comes to us having been the executive director in the Johnstown Milliken School District. And so she was in charge of all things special ed and much more in Johnstown Milliken, and a much smaller district, much smaller team. So we are so excited to have someone with her level of experience join us here in District 6. She was also a special education teacher, working with resource students as well as students with affective needs. And she also was a second grade teacher and a preschool teacher, so lots of background and experience she brings to District 6. Really glad to have you, Tabitha. Welcome. Okay, I just first want to say thank you for recognizing Mr. Hafley in the way that you did, and thank you for those of you who shared comments. He leaves quite a legacy here in District 6, and we look forward to continuing to honor him in the days and weeks and months to come. I want to celebrate on his behalf that we had 1,423 graduates this year. Right around 90, so you had that about right, 90 more graduates than the previous year. And we'll have yet another 120 graduates from GAP on that June 21st graduation. So we'll come over 100 plus graduates. So really excited about the numbers we're seeing in our graduation rate. In summer school right now, it is going K through 12, and we have over 3,000 students involved in summer school. So when we talk to educators and we think, oh, it's summer, you're off, it takes educators to run those summer schools, and it takes nutrition services and custodial and secretary and health services. And so we've got summer school in full swing, and we'll have it in full swing really through July. And then we have over 180 interns in internships right now in local businesses and community and industry. And I'm already hearing back from some of the businesses about how excited they are about their interns and how impressed they are with these young people that we're putting into their businesses. So that's super exciting. And then I will just point out that on the consent agenda tonight, there are two items of importance that I want to call out. One is the contract with Ames Community College for Early College Academy concurrent enrollment. And I just want to remind everyone that, you know, we had this year over 1,200 students in concurrent enrollment courses. That means those students were earning college credit while still in high school. We could not do that without our mill levy override dollars. And we approve this contract tonight with Ames for $700,000 of concurrent enrollment that students at Early College Academy will earn at a discounted tuition rate because of our relationship with Ames. And so grateful for that partnership with Ames, so grateful to our community. And then the other contract I want to point out is the contract with North Range Behavioral Health. We have a significant partnership with them, as you know, and they do provide mental health specialists in all of our schools and support to all of our schools. And we couldn't do what we do for our students and their emotional well-being if we did not have this partnership with North Range. And just really grateful for that partnership and grateful to be able to have the board consider the contract with North Range so that we can continue that partnership. Oh, and then finally, the Greeley West Car Show. We announced it last meeting, but this Saturday, June 14th, 10 a.m. to 1:30, Greeley West Car Show. $35 to enter your vehicles, and it's free admission and lots of fun to be had there. And it's a big deal to have a summer activity going on this soon right after school gets out. So hope you'll join the car show at Greeley West High School. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pilch. Our next item is public participation, but we did not have anyone signed up to speak with us this evening. So we will move on to our consent agenda, which is an action item requiring a motion.
I move that the Board of Education of Greeley-Evans School District 6 approves the items presented on the consent agenda and authorizes the officers to sign any and all contracts.
Second.
Thank you both. Is there any discussion on the consent agenda? As Dr. Pilch mentioned, it's the end of the year and then, you know, making plans for the next school year. So there's all kinds of contracts being renewed and our things that make our district run. So please give us a vote, Ms. Lemon.
Director Bentley?
Aye.
Director Campos-Spitzy?
Aye.
Director Mash?
Aye.
Director Matthews?
Aye.
Director Norwood?
Aye.
Director Sullivan?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. Our next item is a call for elections, and this is also an action item.
I move that the Board of Education of Greeley-Evans School District 6 calls for an election for the purpose of filling vacancies that will occur as current members' terms of office expire and direct the designated election official to notify the county clerk no later than July 25th, 2025 that District 6 will participate in a coordinated election. The designated election official is further directed to publish a call for nominations no later than August 21st, 2025 in the Greeley Tribune.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, please give us a vote, Ms. Lemon.
Director Bentley?
Aye.
Director Campos-Spitzy?
Aye.
Director Mash?
Aye.
Director Matthews?
Aye.
Director Norwood?
Aye.
Director Sullivan?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
And then we need to designate an election official, which is also an action item requiring a motion.
I move that the Board of Education of Greeley-Evans School District 6 designates Amy Lemon as the district designated election official and Lindsay Richards as the alternate designated election official for the November 2025 election.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the designation of election official? Seeing none, we're ready for a vote.
Director Bentley?
Aye.
Director Campos Spitzy?
Aye.
Director Mash?
Aye.
Director Matthews?
Aye.
Director Norwood?
Aye.
Director Sullivan?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Next, we will revise our policy JKBA, disciplinary removal from the classroom. This is an action item that requires a motion.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approve the revisions to policy JKBA as presented.
Second.
Dr. Pilch, did you have anything to mention on this policy? These are revisions that we make each year. Are there any questions on the motion? Ms. Lemon, will give us a vote.
Director Bentley?
Aye.
Director Campos Spitzy?
Aye.
Director Mash?
Aye.
Director Matthews?
Aye.
Director Norwood?
Aye.
Director Sullivan?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Next is revisions to our G personnel policies. If someone would give me a motion, please.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approve the revisions to the G personnel policies as presented.
Second.
And is there any discussion on the motion? Mr. Mayor?
No, I didn't have a question.
All right. Seeing none, will you give us a vote, please?
Director Bentley?
Aye.
Director Campos Spitzy?
Aye.
Director Mash?
Aye.
Director Matthews?
Aye.
Director Norwood?
Aye.
Director Sullivan?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
All right, that is all the business we have for this evening. Again, please enjoy your summer, and we will be back for our next meeting, August 11th. This meeting is adjourned.